Jaime Ross with Coldwell Banker, and I just wanted to come and give you a quick update on what's going on in this DeSoto County market. Today is November 9th. I'm going to talk about what happened in October. So on screen, you should see a few things, and I thought this would be a really easy way for you to see what we see and kind of comprehend what's happening. So you can see here in this first box, this is number of listings. So this trend line goes all the way back to November 2021, all the way to October, current month. This shows that in October, we listed 254 houses. So you can see the high of our year this year was in June, where we listed 448 houses. Now, I went back and thought, what might have changed a little bit from there? And I looked, and in October, 55 new construction houses that were listed in October. So included in this number of 253, that includes 55 new construction houses. In May, I just randomly chose May to be the number to look up. In May, we had 400 houses that got listed on the market, and 139 of that 400 was new construction. So you can see a correlation between the difference of in the listings is there was quite a bit more new construction that got listed in May versus what is happening right this second. I don't know the reason behind that. We could speculate several things. You know, one could be that they're selling them before they get them to a point where they have to list them. So pre-sales are happening. Second could be new construction might be slowing down just a little bit. But we don't know, but it is something that we will continue to monitor and see if we can find some correlation in that. Additionally, let's look at the list prices. So in October, our average list price was $341,000. And let's use that May, and let's look at May. What happened there? May, average list price $354. So just slightly down on average list price. Absorption rate. What absorption rate is basically it's the definition in a formula that's calculated to determine how many months of inventory do we have on the market at a given time. So as of October last month, we had almost just shy of 2 months worth of inventory. So if no other houses got listed, we have 2 months worth of houses to sell, and then there would be nothing remaining on the market. Big change from, let's use May as an example. May had just less than 1 month. So we're almost at 2 months now, less than 1 month in May. And so that tells us something. It tells us, since we know that we don't have more houses listed on the market right now, it tells us that it's taken a little bit longer for the houses to sell that are on the market. We're going to see that come back in just a minute. It's another metric, another data point that I'm going to show you. Here's sold to list ratio. So basically what this is what percentage of homes are listed and sold at their list price versus going over the list price or going under the list price. So you can see we have a trend line here that's going down. And here in October of 22, 97% of homes that were sold during the month of October sold at the houses on average sold at 97% of the list price. Let's go up to May, because that's the month that we kind of are looking at. In May, those homes were selling at an average of 103% of the average list price. So what does that tell us? That in May, and even before that, we started trending up on that in kind of in February, March, April, flatlined in April at 103, and then it started coming down. In May, houses were selling at 103% of the list price. In October, we're at 97, almost 98%. So not a huge jump, because that is a very small spread, but that kind of correlates into when we started seeing this change in the market, when the interest rate started rising up. May is when I felt like the market started to start to gently shift. And that's a good synopsis of it. Average days on market. Houses are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. We're on average in October was about 20 days. Going over here to this May, it was about 13 days. So we're 7 days longer taking for the houses to sell. This is another quick stat, really just kind of recaps all the things that we talked about up above earlier, but now it's just more of in a numbers format. We talked about that the average list price was $405 and the average sales price was around $328. That confuses a lot of people. And what that means is the average list price is nothing but an average. So that is an average of all the houses that got listed during that time period and what was their average. So that means we had some that listed higher than 405. We had some listed that lower than 405. And what sold was the ones that sold that month. And the average of those was 328. So again, that's an average. So it means there were some that sold for more than 328. There were some that sold for less than 328 to give us that average. You can also see here on screen just some comparables to the month prior. Comparables to the month, the year prior. So average list price that we're saying now is on average of 405. Last year, it was 359. So that tells us, home values are rising up and people are trying to sell either larger homes, newer homes, or homes have inflated more. And so that's why house values list prices are higher a year later. Let's look at the average sales price and compare that to the prior year. So we just said that in this year, average sales price in October was $328. And last year, the average was $303. So that's a $25,000 difference in sales price, average closed sales prices in just 1 year. That's phenomenal. I mean, this just shows that the values are going up, and we all know that you can build wealth through real estate and you have to own it to build it. And so that's a good indication that in just a year, people are gaining some equity. We talked about that 328,000 was our average sales price. So let's check that out. So here in the sold listings, we sold 240 in October, and kind of looking at that price category, 300 to 399, 68 homes. Obviously, it was the largest section of homes that were sold during the month of 300 to 399. So that correlates to the data that we looked at above. Pending listings, let's check that out. We had 235 homes go pending in the month of October. And so we could see that still, that's our biggest category, is this 300 to 399. So that seems to be the sweet spot. Homes that are listed somewhere between 300 and 399 are those that are selling not necessarily the fastest, but those are the ones that are going under contract and getting sold, and probably listed as well. In fact, here's the new listing, so let's check that. So here we are. Yes, that's correct. I have the biggest category of 77 of those 254 new listings was listed somewhere between 300 and 390. Is the month in a glance for October of 2022 in DeSoto County. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer those for you. If you have any specific questions on how the market is affecting your specific scenario, let's talk about that offline. And now is still a great time to buy a house. It's definitely a better time to buy and own a home versus being a renter. Thanks for tuning in today. And again, if I can help, reach out. My number is 901-283-7083. Have a great day.